Parker back into the game with those 2 fouls. Kwame Brown can't get anybody in the air, but uses the glass, gets knocked to the ground and scores.
And that's the thing about Gana Diop. He really teases you, Timmy, with his overall physical ability. I mean, the instinct's not quite where you want them, and it's hard to develop them when you've had the kind of injuries he's had this season, but made great growth last season that's been stunted somewhat thus far because of the injuries.
Well, in terms of a physical specimen, you want to draw up what you want in a starting center in his league. It'd be tough to top a guy like Kwame Brown with his size and strength. He just has had a problem with a couple things. I think his instincts for the game have not been great. He's had injury problems, obviously. His consistency really hasn't been there. But lately, he has outplayed Andrew Bynum. And I think down the stretch, Kwame Brown's going to be critical for this team.
I think that it was his birthday, his 25th birthday last night. He said, that was a bad combination, those 2 things. So the combination resulted that he missed the first 4 minutes of the game. But, John, you're exactly right. They're going to need him. He had been very productive before he'd gotten injured and was going on a great path. Now they need him to come back and do even more than he had done.
Well, into the penalty as Brown goes to the line.
And remember last year, this is where he was so effective. He had great presence on the interior against Phoenix in particular in that first-round series. And it's one of the reasons why you can see the Lakers able to control tempo. I think Avery was talking about it before the game, Coach Avery Johnson, how they're starting to play a little too slow, the Dallas Mavericks. And that really allows other
ability to really finish around the rim. That time spoon-fed a layup. They need him to finish those plays. They got to get easy points.
Diop does exactly what you're talking about at the other end. Kwame Brown.
And you can see just his reluctance to even look at the rim on that last.
Bounce pass down to Kwame Brown. And Dirk Nowitzki thought he had the block they called goaltending.
That looked close. I got to see that again because I thought it was a goal. He's got at least 2 other guys that can put the ball on the floor and attack every gap that you have defensively. That versatility is what makes them so difficult to defend.
Kwame Brown gets fouled. Stackhouse 5 of 7 from the field, 11 points already.
And this opportunity.
To Farmar, drives, pulls up, floater won't go. Kwame Brown with the follow. And Jim, what's up with Smush Parker? What's with the attitude tonight?
Well, John, that's the problem. It's not just tonight. He's beginning to have an attitude problem. Him sat him off the end of the bench for the remainder of that game. He sat there through timeouts, and we're talking about Smush Parker here. We're not talking about one of the great NBA players, with all due respect. After the game, Phil went to him and said, you know, it was incumbent for me to go clear this up now. I usually don't like to do this after a game, but that was the type of blow-up that it was, and what we're seeing out of Smush Parker isn't very good, particularly when you consider that this guy came here as a role player, has got the starting position, and now is becoming an attitude problem.
Got a game next Sunday?
Yes, we do. Oh, Kwame Brown goes in, and Harris, much smaller guy, denies him.
And that's, again, one of those plays, Timmy, talking about instincts. I mean, you're Kwame Brown, you're a 7-footer going in against the center. You don't allow him to make a play on that ball. You should put him in the rim. He should be going up with both hands for the dunk and then get the foul. And again, right now with the injuries, you can tell the confidence not quite there. And with a young basketball team, Timmy, it's so tough when you have all these kinds of injuries because you don't get to make the growth. I mean, there's a lot of optimism coming into this season, and it started off great, but then the injuries kind of derailed it.
Well, young players get comfortable when they have a specified role that they can kind of find early in the year, whether that be 15 minutes, 12 minutes, or 30, whatever it may be. But all of a sudden, you have these play big minutes for them.
Dan Pierre puts it on the floor. Bad idea. Scramble for the ball.
But I'll give Kwame Brown one thing. He is playing extremely hard tonight. He's very active. He's trying to post up strong and aggressively. He's attacked the offensive board. There you see him get on the floor for a loose ball. So certainly, if things don't happen well for Kwame tonight, it's not because of lack of effort. He's giving everything he has out there in the court right now.
And that's one of the things as you mature in this league you like. Even though the shots may not be falling, you still can have an impact positively on the game and help your team be successful. And that's one of the things you want as a young player to learn as quickly as possible because there are a multitude of ways you can have an impact.
Avery Brown is not happy with the movement on the Lakers.